feel like I'm making enough progress.
A goal of mine is to have my own hotel in the future.
But I thought I was different from them.
That job because it really helped me with the communication through the adults.
Only wore a turtleneck black shirt and blue jeans. Steve Jobs understood that if his brain needs an extra minute a day to choose what shirt to wear, he will have a minute less to think about the development strategy for his company. The teacher said, but the powder you just had was giving you nutrients and proteins to nurture your skin, your bones, and your nerves. You couldn't feel it, then it happened. This is the same as the activity of reading books. You do not see the benefits of reading a good book right away, but it does help you become a better person.
It releases photon onto its outer shells. When this happens, it creates nuclear fusion, making the gravity pulling inwards into the core. When the star cannot handle it anymore, it will release all of these gases outside, resulting in an explosion. This explosion is called a supernova. It is super bright, and it almost can be seen from all across the universe. But the only thing that remains from the explosion is a black hole. As a hardcore partner. But if someone would still believe that robots will replace human jobs in the future, can we imagine that robots can have a Grammy Awards like BTS or become a great writer like J.K. Rowling in one day? Surrounded by a thick of cloud and gas-filled atmosphere, we look forward to Saturn. Let's take a seatbelt because there are many blocks of ice inside the rings. It is terrible if one piece of ice crashes into my spacecraft.
Extremely introverted, which means that they are a very friendly society, do not have many friends, and do not want to talk much. There! Do you see that do not have many friends? That is the point where our AI is going to happen. Okay, how can I help? By knowing persona.
Next is description. Does it make sense? If it makes sense of the game you wanted, then that's it. And if it doesn't make sense, then it's not the one you want. And finally, water wastage. So the first problem is that people drink finished juice and throw it on the street. When rain comes, it washes down the sewer to the river, then to the ocean. So animals eat it, and they suffer the consequences later.
Can help, like warning you about the huge storm that is in front of you. You might not be able to see. It's a simple warning, but if you don't have free navigation, you might fly into the storm and break your car.
When the photon shines down, it hits the boron, and then that one electron gets free because it has energy. It rises up and goes into the eternal circuit.
So this is the logo explanation. The first A means my name is Anna. The last one is the reading non-stop. So you know that logo from Amazon? They want to steal things from A to Z, and there's a curve that connects each letter, which means like the smile. They want to see a smile on their customer face.
It's curved, then time will be curved even more, just like space is. Now, we still don't understand how time and space is curved. That's why Albert Einstein made his field equation, also famously known as the law of general relativity. This is the equation. You might be thinking, what is this? Why is it so hard? But don't worry, I will go through it one by one. This is called Einstein tensor. It's represented with the uppercase G and mu. This shows it's just a function of Ricci tensor. But Ricci tensor is just a simplified version of Raymond's curvature tensor I just showed you. Einstein tensor also say that the curvature of space-time is in the fourth dimension. This shows that when it's in the x-axis, y-axis, z-axis, and time.
It's agreeable that they know for sure we were the one, the chosen one, the creature that would live and thrive into the next extinction, who knows when. But if any and some genius could one day dissolve all these alternative hypotheses, then we humans would be one step closer to the mind of those so-called gods that help shape the world. And who knows, scientific will take one step closer to a new revolution. We could even live on other planets if we discover life there, even go to further into multiverse theories and stuff, you know? But from my point of view, the universe is quite neutral. It shows no ultimate goal, a reason to be, or, you know, a mind to take and control it. It just stays that it is a base of play that allows us to utilize our capacity, our abilities, and our resource to shape it the way we desire.
And maybe this is gonna be trigger, but the thing that leads to generation gap, that is love. Love in different mindset causes generation gap. So why is that? Remember, parents used to be a kids once, but a kids never be an adult. You should remember that if you are parents, you've been thought by a parent when you were young. So you use the same way to thought your children and think that it will make them success. It will make them be a good person when they grow up like you. But maybe times change. So we should come with a solution, right? So this is my opinion. You can see here's an equation between these generation with this one, and I'm gonna call it Generation C. So Generation C, why does all of these generation can equal Generation C? Because Generation C is not defined by the year you were born. They define it by your own mindset. The C here stands for collaborative, community-orientated, creative, and lastly, connect. A Generation C mindset is that they were always willing to help people to make the problem better, approaching the problem in different ways.
Books are like your sons because they absorb information and pass to other generations. So imagine books is like a human. When they came across an information that they are very fond of, they could share it to other people. So the line will expand and become more complex until there's a dead end. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about how writers write their books. So it all starts when they came across a newspaper or somebody's books. After that, they're gonna gain the information in their head and turn it into a light bulb. After that, the light bulb will go to a process where they will filter the main ones and get rid of the redundant ones. Lastly, they will all together and became the main story. And last, they write and publish it.
A better solution to education. This is a car 100 years ago and now. This is a phone 100 years ago and now. A lot has changed, as you can see. Yet, this is the classroom 100 years ago and now. Nothing has changed. So, we are similarly treating every student, putting them in the same classroom, listening to the same material and the same person. Thus, we are producing mass knowledge on them, learning them for test and test only. So the first solution is game-based education. It brings games to education, something that students are very interested in.
Activities is a psychological treatment that has been demonstrated to be effective to curb depression, anxiety, insecurity, and disorder. It's gonna work on your emotion, your thought, and your behavior. As you know, negative emotion and negative thought can destroy you on the inside. It can make a very deep and hurtful wound. And to cure that wound that make from your trauma or your emotional damage, you have to take care of your broken heart by focusing on the positive. For example, like doing something that you really enjoy.
It's contracted onto a small point, like the singularity, and then it will explode and it keep on expanding, and then it would contract again, which is the big crunch, and it keep on looping again and again. It's like a cycle. And so Buddhism believes that there's a cycle of life and death, which is the samora, and they think that when we die, there's still kind of soul, a kind of energy that will attach onto another being and create the next life. And the next life, it will keep on growing up, and then it will die again, then just keep looping. Now you see there's something